there's one thing which actually stands out for Web3. The Web3 revolution is upon us, and this time when gender equality and all those things matters. When in Web3, it is not restricted to any particular gender, and this has made the sector inherently more accepting of women, and women are doing great, in fact. And we have some of these wonderful women right here with us, along with Miss Aditi, and who is the founder of Superwomen DAO and Moonshot Consulting, will be moderating the next panel, and the panel is Women in Blockchain. So just give us a moment, everything needs to be set up, and Shikri will be here. So good evening, ladies. We have actually been waiting for you all to start this panel discussion. I have literally received questions that when we are going to start with this ladies group. So stage is all yours. Come on, guys, once again, a big round of applause for them.
Hello. I see a lot of long faces, and we truly are going to try to make up to y'all, bring that Web3 energy and everything else in this room. I am Aditi, founder of Superwomen DAO and a contributor. It's an initiative that we started working on 6 months ago in May. The idea for us with Superwomen DAO, and it's still a DAO in the making, statutory warning or a disclaimer, whatever. The fact was that, hey, okay, Web2 happened, tech really governed and ruled the world, but somewhere women sort of took the back seat. It was circumstantial or not, but right now when we have this new tech revolution really coming up, can we have the same starting line for all the genders? And that was the idea behind it. It just sporadically happened. One day, I just wanted to meet some women and just make some girls in the Web3 space, invite them, put a very common post out on Twitter, but you all know how the project Twitter is. Everybody RSVPs for everything. We got over 100 RSVPs in 1 hour, and my house isn't that big, so we were able to accommodate 40 women, approve them, and 39 of them turned up, which was the first time the indication that, hey, there's so much conviction out there, and there's also this gap of inhibition. It's not that women need to be treated any differently or anybody else needed to be. It's just that when you're fewer in numbers at any event, it just feels like, hey, should I go and approach that person and ask them something? Would I make a fool out of myself? So solving for that inhibition. Secondly, then looking at the persona and education related to that persona. It's not going to happen that everybody from Web2 is just going to jump to Web3 and start with a whole new, brand new career. Most of us are going to pick the bits and pieces of what we're already doing. I led product and community in my past Web2 lives. And that's what just made Web3 so conducive for me to come and start looking at something, because that's what comes naturally to you. So the first thing that we had on our mind was, hey, cool, a lot of people need education. There's so much education out there. What's missing? What we realized was discovery. People, you tell them I want to get educated, but who's going to guide me? Where do I start? If I'm looking at proof of stake, which chain do I look at? Is Cardano the right fit for me, or Solana, or any other chain for that matter? So all of those things were the first thoughts that we had. Second was, hey, cool, a lot of developer education is out there, content is there, but who's really building for other things? I mean, what does the Web3 playbook for a community manager look like? What is the job description of a Web3 marketer? So looking at those little personas, bringing different women together and building on top of that. And the third thing was chronology. I mean, with all the education awareness out there, there's still structure is missing, chronology is missing. So the first 6 months for us went into really bringing these women together, and now the idea is to start focus on the education bit of it, expertise bit of it, and the third, which is the most important, is investments bit. So eventually Superwomen DAO comes off and becomes the investment DAO that we want it to be. That was not so much of a brief description about Superwomen, and coming to the more exciting part now. Hello ladies, all of you looking gorgeous. So we have here Sneha, who's the founder of Resolutio, Akshita, founder of Flaq, Michelle, founder of Sundae, and Priya, founder at AvisaGuild. I'm going to let the women tell their stories in their own words, but it's so beautiful to see a panel full of women founders. So So if at any point you all feel like giving them a huge round of applause, no objection to that. I would love to know a little bit about what you're up to these days, what's your project about, and what's your belief, like what you into it?
Thank you, Aditi. First, what you're doing with Superwomen now is amazing. Congratulations. So my name is Sneha. I'm the founder of Resolutio. I started off as a lawyer exploring blockchain technology to see how this technology could be used for dispute resolution. So I specialized in alternate dispute resolution, and while I was pursuing my master's in the subject, I realized that alternate dispute resolution was not really a great alternative to existing modes of dispute resolution. And I also realized that blockchain could be used to automate this process and make it accessible and affordable to practically everybody out there. I was writing a research paper on blockchain arbitration, and that's how I got into this space. Eventually, post graduation, I didn't have any background. Like I said, I'm a lawyer. So I ended up taking a course on how the technology worked. Started working on a concept for a blockchain arbitration platform, but did not have the necessary technical backing to build it. So participated in a few hackathons, understood that it is possible for somebody who didn't come from a technical background to build a platform and eventually build Resolutio. So what we're doing with Resolutio is building a decentralized dispute resolution platform where we invalidate plagiarized art or NFT. So to give you a brief about the problem, there have been instances where artwork of thousands of artists have been tokenized into NFTs without them even realizing it. There have also been instances where NFTs have been duplicated. Unfortunately, these victims have to send data notices to marketplaces that you can see, where they're not very receptive because they don't have the resources to evaluate all of these notices. And if this fails, they have to initiate conventional dispute resolution, which of course is expensive. So what we want to do is help users identify whether the art is being plagiarized and then provide a decentralized mechanism to invalidate the said NFT. So that's what we're doing with Resolutio. But just to add on, this community has been amazing, starting with the members of Superwomen now. I'm also part of other communities like Moonshot and AvisaGuild, where women have been extremely helpful when it comes to providing tips or even support when it's actually lacking. So yeah, that's me.
Thank you so much, Sneha, for that description. And for a lawyer, you were pretty soft-spoken here. I mean, I'm not a lawyer and look at me. I just go on and on. But thank you so much for building that very, very useful service. As we all understand, there's been this constant debate about, hey, cool, I mean, what am I going to do with that ownership if out in the open, anybody's just going to plagiarize my art and use it? I mean, who's really coming on chain until we see that level of adoption to really check for ownership? So I think when we have tools like this, it builds confidence in people that yes, when I am going to do and build something like this, there are services and mechanisms which can check for what I'm trying to do, if it's not just feasibility, but I would say if it's even allowed or eligible or legible in the manner. So thank you so much. And now coming to Akshita, who's one of the very recent members of the co-contributor team at Superwomen now. She's helping us immensely with the content. We've just very recently started an education series between Superwomen and Flaq on Twitter, where the idea is, hey, you're anyway gonna be on Twitter, might as well learn something. I mean, cool, Binance FTX was wonderful, very juicy and gossipy and everything. But at the end of the day, we have to get back to something, get back to work and have to have that knowledge. So that's the thing, and I'm going to have Akshita tell us a story in her own words.
So, hello everyone, I'm Akshita Goyal. I am the founder of Flaq. So, before I dive into what Flaq is, just a little bit about how I entered Web3. So, I'm actually a law student as well, so a lot of me relates to Sneha. And I'm a 5th year law student at SLS Pune. And I think around in my 4th year IT internships, I actually started getting Web3 related work. So I actually started getting work around brand protection and metaverse, making contracts around NFT And that's the first time I actually got a taste of the Web3 space. And I got extremely interested in it, and I started wanting to learn more about it. But the biggest barrier I faced as a person from Web 2 wanting to transition into Web 3 was, where do I go and learn this? And who's going to teach it to me in a very easy, understandable manner by completely breaking down the concepts to me? Because few of the biggest barriers was, every time I tried to read on a platform about it, the content was either too complex or too technical, or there were no links between the articles themselves, right? So I decided, why not actually create a platform ourselves? And I got help from the tech side of my friends, and we co-founded Flaq, where we essentially are an educational startup to help onboard Web2 users to Web3. Our entire focus is Web3 awareness and education. And the importance of this can be probably given by an example that we honestly faced and were surprised by personally, was that we had an offline educational event for Flaq recently, and there were around 50 people in the room, all educated, amazing people from Bangalore, colleges, some of them just passed out, got jobs at Amazon and everything. And the first question we asked them was, how many of you have heard of the term Web3, right? Because all of us are probably in the Web3 community believe that, okay, everyone knows everything about it. But in that room of 50 people, only one person had even heard of the term, let alone actually know what Web3 actually entails. A lot of the Web2 perception for Web3 is that it's only cryptocurrencies and it's only NFTs. Because they haven't seen the DAO side of it. They haven't seen the DeFi side of it. And they only still know very little about crypto and NFTs themselves, right? So this is where Flaq comes in. We have structured, curated, originally made content, taking you from the basics to the absolute advanced of all the topics in Web3. We have, diving into Web3, we have crypto, wallets, we have NFTs, DeFi, DAOs, etc. And we combine this with practical learning, right? Because when I, as a Web2 folk, actually had to make my Phantom wallet, I was a little iffy about how to go about it. No one's telling me I need to back up my seed phrase or be so sort of safe and cagey about it, right? So that's where Flaq's interactive simulations came in, and we essentially build simulations on different testnet networks of Solana, Algorand, Ethereum, Near, etc. And we actually take a Web2 user through the process of creating a wallet, swapping tokens, staking, whatever they wish to learn. And the idea is that you test run Web3 before you join it, because so many Web2 people have so many mental blocks, and that only keeps increasing with the kind of PR that Web3 is facing right now. And so we're trying to just sort of break all of those barriers with different methods of education. And Superwomen DAO has been extremely sort of passionate about education as well. And so when Flaq met Superwomen DAO, I met Aditi, it was sort of a perfect connection in terms of Superwomen DAO x Flaq Edu series, because they were looking for that kind of structured education that we were sort of specializing in. And now hopefully together we can take Web3 education to the masses. That's kind of me.
Yes, education for everyone, including Web3. I mean, this is something very interesting that you pointed out, that how many people don't really understand the non-overlapping nature of Web3, cryptocurrency and blockchain. I mean, to put it out simply, Web3 is an entire world of its own, where blockchain is the tech that's going to power building on it. And cryptocurrency is the currency, like how we have our pegged rupees and reserve currency right now. NFTs are going to be the commodities that we trade, the clothes that you buy, the houses that you buy, everything that you tangibly buy in the current world are going to be the digital assets and commodities. DAOs are the organizational structure. They don't only have to be structures of corporates, they can be governments. So your Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, whatever, cooperatives, anything can take form of a DAO. And as a lot of people do say that DAOs have to have a particular way of governance and voting and proposals and everything. That's not really true. There are DAOs that are coming up that have very interesting tiered models as well. And Metaverse is where we truly talk about this environment that we're sitting in, like the air that we breathe, the surroundings that we see. So Web3 is a major umbrella term, and there's, anyone saying that, hey, Web3 is going on, no, there might be one aspect of it. But thank you so much for that wonderful description, and very happy to be working with you. Coming to you, Michelle. How has been coming back to Bangalore from Singapore been like?
It's amazing. I think Bangalore is so dynamic. I'm not originally from Bangalore, but coming to space, I love the energy here. It's something that's very different from, say, Singapore, right, from where I'm from. Energy is great. People are so excited to build. We have people from all walks of life doing different things, which is amazing in Web3 because you're trying to solve for different problems, from, say, resolutions to like law, to even healthcare, fintech. So much use cases, which is
everything moves really fast in Bangalore.
Oh, yeah.
Except the traffic.
Except the traffic. Yeah. I mean,
That's one thing where the dynamic nature of Bangalore completely goes to the toss. But Michelle here is the founder of Neon Sundae, who's very recently moved to Bangalore, given the already dynamic nature of Bangalore that she mentioned as the reason. Would love to know from you, what are you building, and congratulations on the very recent launch.
Thank you so much. Yes, Neon Sundae. So I'll tell you a bit about my past Web2 life a little, so that it makes sense about why Neon Sundae and what Neon Sundae is. So in my Web2 life, what I did or what I was doing was to work a lot with enterprises, organizations, and of course startup founders, and building their products, all the way from brand to getting the products out to market. I'm myself a brand designer and a business development person. So my whole time was spent working a lot of enterprises, right? And in that whole process, enterprises were coming to us saying that, hey, I'm trying to figure out my Web3 play. I'm trying to build maybe NFTs for something. I don't know where to start or how to go about it, or find talents who are native to Web3 to help me build this. And in that process, we're inspired to make this whole journey simple for enterprises. So that's how Neon Sundae was born. But more so than that, while we're building a boutique consulting firm, we worked a lot with talents. We ourselves are talents, and a lot of times talents are very tired of working long projects, working with clients. It can be a process. It can be hard, right? A lot of times, you as a talent, you don't get a lot of credit for what you do and for what you contribute to building. So that's how, combining the whole two things that we're looking at, we wanted to do something that gave power to talents, but also to enterprises. It's a win-win situation for both. So that inspired Neon Sundae. Previously, we actually called it Founders Lab. We just rebranded it because we were like, hey, it is not really talking about what we're doing. So yeah, and thanks Aditi, we launched on Friday, which is very exciting. But Neon Sundae, what it exactly does is one, help talents build their proof of work on chain. And also provide opportunities to talents to very exciting enterprise projects in Web3. A lot of times these projects are not usually published out. We want to give that access to opportunities out to the market. So that's one thing. On the other side, what we wanted to help enterprise is to really figure out building a Web3 play as easy as eating a sundae, right? Building a Web3 as easy as sundae. So that's Neon Sundae, and that's what we're building, and yeah, we're excited.
I love the neon idea to it. If there's anything that's truly uniting the Web3 space, is the neon nature of everything. Everything's bright, everything's vibrant out there. But talking of consulting firms, and I truly understand as someone who's been consulting, until last year I was consulting in a personal capacity. This year in Jan, I incorporated my firm, became a silent partner in September, and now it's acquired already, acquired already. And we work with over 42 projects across India, Dubai, and US. And what we realized was the biggest challenge here is not the lack, not the supply, not the demand, it's the readiness of the supply. I mean, what got us really tied up was, hey, cool, we've got these really smart community managers out there who understand the fundamentals and everything. What they don't understand is the platform. I mean, these people, if you put them on a Facebook community, they're going to shine. But now, Discord as a platform is not known, and whichever courses, most of the courses that you would see are like for founders, for creators, for people out there, they're focusing on the fundamentals, which is great, yes. But look at the seasoned people, they understand the fundamentals. It's actually the platform education that we need. So kudos to you on that, for being that platform, for being those mentors, and for being that service with me on Sunday. And now coming to Priya. She's the co-founder of AvisaGuild Games, and everyone knows how gaming is the favorite child of every other parent. So Avisa would love to know Priya would love to know your story, and what are you building at Avisa?
Good evening, everybody. So, first and foremost, I would like to congratulate everybody over here, and I wish you a very happy International Men's Day. For everybody who are sitting here, the reason is that because of you guys, today we as women standing and showcasing our products and proving ourselves. So, in the form of a father, in the form of a husband, family, loved ones, the colleagues, the friends, you guys are giving a tremendous support to us. That's why we are over here. So about me, myself, Priya Ratnam, I'm the CEO of Avisa Ventures, and then I'm also building a product called AvisaGuild, which is the India's largest Web3 guild. Alright, so my history is back from 2016. I'm a crypto OG. Started with a very niche platforms like how the beautiful girls are building, and we also started a product called tasty.com, which is not there right now. So everybody used to talk about giveaways, airdrops, the contest, Gleam IO contest those days very well. But people think that we don't make any money from airdrops. But right now, there is a huge demand for airdrops. The time has come. So that's where my code has been started with. We made a huge money in terms of marketing, promotions, and different perspectives of the cryptocurrency space, right from 2016 and 2017. With a super success, I also started a venture capital firm, Avisa Ventures. The challenge over here is everybody have ideas. Even the people who is sitting over here have 100 different beautiful ideas. Just a simple example, we have been participated yesterday and today. There are beautiful projects who are pitching. They are really beautiful, but who will fund? Everybody needs a fund to become successful, to go their product into the market, and to make it live, right? So that's where the Avisa Ventures comes. So far we have been incubating 68 different projects, different protocols, Web3, Web2, Metamorphosis, NFTs, games, and all. And the gaming guild. The second product is India's largest gaming guild with a global presence. So far we have been incubated 33 projects. When I say the incubation in terms of the gaming guilds, we have been invested directly in the games. So play to earn is the model we have been working on building right now. As you know, if you are following the markets of play and earn concepts, the play and earn have slightly come down. I'll tell you the challenges where we are facing the problem with the markets. So far, people who have built the games is actually not the game developers, but they are the ones who are rigorously looking forward to make a lot of money from the crypto, from the NFTs, and from the play and earn concepts. But the glitch has been changed right now. The situation has been changed. Example, yesterday I have, somebody have pitched a wonderful project. I didn't remember the name of the game. Those are the guys developed, they have been developed the project. Those are the guys who are the real game developers. So we are looking out for the projects who are technically working behind the technology. That means who are the core developers, core game developers. Right? So that will be my background from. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Priya, for that wonderful introduction. And it's phenomenal that you've already incubated 68 projects. At this point where you know that the industry in itself is at the nascency. So kudos on that. and we go this way now. I mean, so again, coming back to you, Priya, when we talk about gaming, most people consider, like when we talk about NFTs, when we talk about metaverse currently in this system, and we think of, hey, where's the use case really? And for most people, gaming is the first field that they see. But we also do know that, hey, it's not that NFT is just part of the bigger gaming ego culture, or metaverse is just gonna, further the cause of, metaverse is not gonna further the cause of gaming only. So if put separately, what do you think is the future of NFTs versus the future of gaming and versus the future of metaverse from your current experience, like whatever you've learned at the insights you've got?
Great question. Well, that's a great question, Aditi. So NFTs, if you see yesterday, one of my friends was telling, who was sitting next to me, she's actually a Web2 person. She did a lot of analysis to come to this conference. So what she told us, I was even felt really good. Somebody who is doing a lot of research to come to this event. What she told was, her analysis says, even though right now the bear market is going on, the NFT spike, the skyrocketing in terms of sales and purchases is almost more than 90% compared to 2021 in the 2022 itself. Imagine the numbers is going in millions and trillions. The more use cases, the more the empowerment of the community. So everybody have built NFTs not only for the simple concept, but to use, which has to be useful for the community, which has to be useful for the reward systems. That's where I feel like NFTs has to have a core value, right? So, for example, if you see play and earn. Play and earn, NFTs is the characters, they will play the game, they get the rewards, in-game rewards, and just none. But the same NFTs can be used for interoperability. You all guys must be knowing about interoperability. Interoperability is the NFTs can be useful for different purposes, like chain agnostic, right? Multi-blockchain. So if the NFTs have been used for watch to earn, along with the play to earn. So move to earn, and also job to earn. So different concepts, if you can include NFTs, that's going to be the biggest use case. That is where we can create a lot of difference in the market. And metaverse I can see, I have seen a picture recently. A guy is just sitting, holding and playing the game and watching the TV. So I didn't found how metaverse is going to be explored, but it has to be used in a proper way, right? So I am positive side with the metaverse, but still we need to think about the exhibit in a proper way.
No, 100%. In terms of utilities, we yet to get there. And you brought a very interesting word from the ecosystem interoperability. I think once we see that coming, where the effort of the user, where the user's job really is to get something done, or to just understand something, or to really trade on an artistic value, and not really look at the chain and the operations behind it, I think that would truly be the way that we really adopt people. Yes, we love how conferences, how seminars, how workshops are really getting people aware about those things. But along with that, when we want simultaneous education and hands-on activity to come in, I think features, services, like these are going to be super important. A quick little shout out to something that we've been also, at Superwomen, have been a very big proponent of, is interoperability and looking at that technology. December 1st to 4th, we're doing a specific hacker house with one of the interoperability projects out there called Connects. And I personally feel it's a very, very interesting space for new hackers to come in, explore, build, and build a credibility in. But now, coming to Michelle, you've been doing some very interesting things, and all our love and support to all the builders out there. But we are a women panel, and equally appreciate all the men out there who've done a lot of things for us. But somewhere, right, you will see that inhibition in women, that being that corner group at some of the events and stuff, all of you women are super, super cool and very extroverts out there. But I just want to understand from a broader perspective that what do women builders really need to start looking at when they're trying to build? Say for example, when do I start looking at joining communities, which has been a very common way of getting used to the Web3 ecosystem? Do I join that community when I just think of building something? Do I join that when I'm racing? So what's the balance between not getting distracted and deriving the maximum value?
So I think this is an amazing question. I love that you brought it up because as a woman in the space, it can get quite overwhelming, right? To figuring out where do I start? What do I do? Even as a tech person, non-tech person, there's so many things to kind of navigate in this space, right? And it can get very overwhelming, especially if you're a bit of a minority gender, right? I think what you're building here is absolutely amazing for that because it always starts with education. Web 2, Web 3, at the end of the day, it's just technologies, right? Web 3 technology, blockchain technology is used to solve a certain problem or to empower certain communities. These technologies are technologies. Right now in the market, what's happening, I think even earlier you mentioned, right? A lot of people don't understand what's the difference between a crypto versus, say, what's the difference between Web3. A lot of people still kind of, think that's the same thing, crypto, Web3, same. But it's very different, right? And for women especially, in a lot of places who are not, say, in cities like Bangalore or Singapore, they don't understand these differences. And it always starts with education. What exactly is Web3? What can you do in these spaces? What do you want to do as an NFT? What's your goals? Where do you want to take your journey to in this space? Do you want to be a trader? Do you want to build something? Do you want to just contribute? So there's a lot to navigate, and I think it always starts with education. Which is where I see like a lot of value that you're bringing to the table for women. And yeah, in terms of journey, I think at the end of the day, it's also figuring out what you want to do. Do you want to build something? Then start conversations with builders in the space. Be it women or men, I think both genders, so many brilliant ideas, so many things that people are building. Start conversations, find mentors. Because especially if you're just starting on a space, you don't know what you're doing. You're still figuring out. So yeah, get in touch with mentors, get mentorship, join communities, have conversations with other builders. Also internships. I think these are so undervalued, but these are amazing because even in Web3, right, as much as it is a new technology, a lot of Web2 principles still apply, even as you work in organizations or build organizations. All this still is there. So internships, shadowing people, working in organizations, these are great spaces to take up that skill sets, build up your skill sets. Be it as a developer, as a marketer, as a content writer, whatever your passion, whatever your journey is, right? So yeah, that is what I would recommend. Just so you kind of feel the space and learn.
No, 100%. I think on point and like very bad on that. Very gently lingo that I'm trying to pick up these days. So I really know that I'm like a borderline Gen Z at this point. But thank you so much for that, Michelle. I hope everyone out here, and especially all the women, you're making notes, if not written notes and mental notes of what these stellar women and their journeys have been like. And talking about internships, I think truly people in the Web3 space have gone a step ahead. Look at Akshita, she's in college and a co-founder already. I am scared of people like her. I used to think, okay, I'm young, I'm like, doing growth and product and stuff, and then you enter and I'm like, cool, gotta go hide my face. So kudos on really taking that step and keeping your life so nicely balanced. And so yes, now coming to you. You're working in education, and awareness, which is the start for everything. I mean, historically you look at it, politically you look at it, socially you look at it. For example, if I were to ask you, there's a student out here in the crowd and they just come and they have this question like, hey, how do I get started in Web3? Like, give me 3 pointers, 3 actionable pointers, and that, yes, you could do this and that would be a good start. Just also want you to keep in mind how the discovery, how the onboarding, and how the learning for that person look like.
before I get onto that, I have done my fair share of internships in law school, guys. It's a terrifying space to be in. But anyway, so getting to that. So exactly what you said, right? The three sides of it, which is discovery, learning, and onboarding. So discovery, let's get to that first. So discovery is not equivalent to Web3 education. Discovery is equivalent to Web3 awareness, okay? So what that essentially means is first, we make everyone in the Web2 world out there aware of what Web3 truly is. And then, if they're interested, they want to get educated on it, or they want to, let's say, they want to start learning. Like as Aditi said, a student probably comes up to me and says, hey, you're in the Web3 space, can you tell me something a little bit more about it? I was that student a couple of months ago. And so I realized that while there are people telling me that, check out this XYZ blog page, or join Twitter, there's a lot of crypto Twitter out there, etc., random different notes that I had to take on, I realized that we need one platform to actually condense discovery, learning, and onboarding. So with respect to awareness, we can obviously have multiple educational events. So Flaq is doing offline educational events as well as online with different schools, colleges, companies even now, where we take the first step of actually trying to make people aware of what Web3 is. Take away that stigma that people have automatically associated with Web3, with crypto, with NFTs, etc. Then you move on to the education process, right? You take them step by step. You don't jump to, hey, do you know what a DeFi protocol is? No. You explain to them, hey, do you know how Web3 even came about? Do you know what its core values are? Do you know why all of us are building what we're building? Why Michelle is building something that's decentralized? Why she is building something that is focused on also a decentralized ADR situation, right? So that's exactly why we need to educate them from the very basics and then take them to the advanced. So how do you do that? You need a roadmap, as simple as that. You need, and this is something that comes from my law background, is structure. I am obsessed with structure. So you create a structured content roadmap, which Flaq has done, where we take you from the very, very basics to the advanced. And at the end of the day, none of our schools or colleges gave us the practical learning that we needed when we stepped out into the real world. So it's not just your academic blogs reading anymore. As much as I can make the content that we're putting out on Flaq easy to understand, give you visual supplements, give you diagrams, make it multilingual. We also have content in Hindi, Spanish, etc. coming up, because Web3 shouldn't have language barriers at the end of the day. So why not educate people from all sorts of backgrounds, right? Where is the practical learning coming in? That's where the interactive simulations come in. We try for that onboarding, which is the third step that Aditi was talking about after discovery and education itself, is that you need to actually learn how to onboard yourselves into all of the million platforms that Web3 continues to create every single day, which is absolutely and truly amazing, but can get very, very intimidating for someone who's still very new to the space. So we handhold them through these interactive simulations on all different chains, and we will actually teach you how to create a wallet, how to swap your tokens, every single step by step explaining to you why this particular UI in this wallet had this XYZ thing, right? So that's exactly how there's a 3-step process to actually building a holistic educational platform, which is discovery, learning, and onboarding. And these are sort of the 3 steps that we've come up with to solve these issues by talking to so many Web2 folks and understanding where their mental blocks lie, why they're interested in Web3 but they're not entering Web3. It's very simple, they don't have a path to enter. So give them that path, and eventually we'll have such a larger community building so many more amazing things, because everyone has very, very unique ideas. So that's essentially
what nicely explained. I mean, a couple of things that you mentioned there. So when the whole point to ask this thing about discovery, education, and onboarding was because there's a very famous 3Cs model, which is content, community, commerce, or consulting. And this has been there across all organizational, decades that we had. So it's not something very new. The idea is like, how do you adopt it in the Web3 language and the Web3 adoption language? So kudos for you on working that, and I think the fact that you're bringing it together truly lessens the jobs that need to be done by a user. I mean, if the effort versus the incentive, where the effort is a lot more and the incentive is a lot less, nobody's really going to work on those things. So bringing those together truly helps with that equation, and I think everything that we're doing in Web3 can be tied back to these fundamental business models that we have. Coming to the last question for the evening, to Sneha. You're working in Web3 legal tech, which is a super interesting space at this point right now. I mean, whenever you hear of a Web3 founder, you're like, oh, we're doing cross-border payments, DeFi, staking, something like that. Or a lot of education is also picking up. And the third side, the founder side that you will see a lot is the new product studio model. I mean, retaining Priya, completely different ecosystem in itself. It's so big at this point. But how do people perceive the Web3 legal tech aspect of it? Say you build a Resolutio. You approach investors, you approach users, you approach so many people every day. What are particularly legal tech related challenges that you face? And what do you think is the state of female builders in this space? I mean, lawyers are anyway very few. And then you bring Web3 as another narrowing factor. So what's the state like?
Okay, thank you for the question, Aditi. I'll answer the second one first. I honestly don't know any legal lawyer women except for her, who's a law student. Hopefully in another year, she'll be yet to graduate.
Will graduate.
Dropout founders are even more interesting. Make stories.
I know you here. Oh, you are? Okay, so that's another one right there.
Wow, I mean, yeah, see, this is a story that doesn't even come forward. So we wanted to bring this law tech, legal tech story of Web3.
I think founders may not advertise their background, especially when you're a lawyer who's building in the tech space. You might advertise yourself as a tech founder, not legal tech founder. I myself tend to do that. I shouldn't. One way to change that would be to help onboard more lawyers and law students into the Web3 space. In fact, Resolutio has a Resolutio program where we have, right now the first cohort has over 8 law students and lawyers from across 5 jurisdictions across the world, where we help them understand the Web3 space so that in the future they will have the skills to provide solutions to Web3 disputes. Another project that I'm working with is the Region Law Academy. So there we're trying to focus on helping law students understand what blockchain technology is and how it overlaps with law and what are the various opportunities that you can explore, because it's not just legal tech. You might understand the technology will make you a better lawyer. I'm not practicing as a lawyer, but if someone wants to do that, that would be a great option. There are quite a few blockchain lawyers out there. Women blockchain lawyers, unfortunately, just a handful. Hopefully in time it'll change. Now, moving on to the first question, how is it that they're explaining what my legal tech product is? Well, I don't advertise it or explain it as a legal tech product because then people find it very intimidating, especially with investors or users who are scared of the regulatory landscape and like what states or countries tend to do with founders building on this ecosystem. It can be quite scary. So I focus on what it is that we're building and the impact that it's making. So with Resolutio, even though it's a dispute resolution platform, essentially what we're doing is we're modeling it on a legal process called arbitration, but we're not calling it legally enforceable mechanism. We're just saying that we're building a basic solution where users on the platform can come forward, evaluate issues, in this case whether an NFT is bad or not, and then give out their verdict on whether it's a bad NFT or a good NFT. Ideally, I would use words like verdict or any legal terms to make sure that people are not intimidated. But the key is to not act as it is a legal product. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, this is a very important question, and I think a beautiful end to this conversation also, because regulatory landscape is super sensitive right now. So to know, what parts to really say out there, when to cash on the utility of the product, and when to cash on the actual field of it is super, super important. And folks, thank you so much for being so patient with all of us. I had a wonderful time talking to these women. If put together here for another hour, 2 hours, I can still go on talking. But we do have limitations. So we're going to get off stage, but if you feel anybody would like to come, discuss, talk about education, gaming, building for founders, legal tech, community, consulting, we'd be happy to talk. Would love to do a shout out to the community that we're building called Superwomen now. There's a global community open to all the genders, and then there's specific women persona chapters that we have. So please do follow us on Twitter, join our Telegram group, reach out to us what we can do to help. And yes, follow all of these amazing ladies out there. Thank you.